Hey guys, Yard Mama here coming at you May 30th, 2019. If you saw my last video, I showed you how to do a soil sample, specifically a soil savvy soil test. That was the first time I'd ever used that. I got my soil test analysis in a little while back. I just literally haven't had time to deal with it, to look at it and talk to you about it. So I wanted to take this video time and talk to you about my results and go over those. Now, I'm trying to video this on my own without my son. He's a techno and the camera guy, and I just realized I recorded an entire video and only got 26 seconds in because when I thought I flipped the camera in, I didn't realize I stopped the video from rolling. So I'm going to flip this around, and I'm going to show you on my laptop my Soil Savvy results. I sent this test in last week of April, and they got the results in, I can't remember if it was a week or two, but it was really fast. It was a really fast turnaround. I think it was within 10 business days, and I did get the results back. Okay, so I want to show you, and again, understand that I am predominantly organic. Okay, so this is, I want to show you that you can, I prove to you, if you've seen my other videos, they've all been out in my yard, and I've showed you what my yard looks like just being organic with the organic cultivating practices, not applying any synthetics. So I will get back in my yard on my next videos, but I just wanted to go over the soil results with you this time, and then my next video I'm going to talk to you about some other things, what few things I'm going to do out in my yard, and I'll be outside and I'll let you see what my yard looks like. But if you want to go, just look at my last videos, especially the renovation I did. It shows you the before and after I had some problems last year. All right, so I'm going to flip this around here and show you my results and talk about them. Okay, this is my Soil Savvy results. You can see this was 4/23. That's the date they got it. Crop type turf. Now, one thing, this is the first time I've used this test. Seemingly, I don't think they distinguish between turf types. So I guess this is going to be for basic across the board, northern, southern, tall turf, fescue, centipede, or whatever. But my grass is centipede, and I am in Louisiana. So let's talk about this. All right. So in the green zone right here is where you want everything pretty much to be. So let's just talk about the things that are not in that green zone, which is the target zone. Now understand, this is not specific to centipede grass, so this is not going to be spot on, but this is what it is. I'm sure it's close enough, and it's what I'm going with. All right, let's look at the macronutrients first. That's the N, P, and K. All right, phosphorus, potassium, it's all good. Nitrogen, a little bit low, but here's the thing. Centipede grass does not like a lot of nitrogen. Really doesn't like a lot of anything. But you don't, in fact, I could probably never put nitrogen on my centipede grass and still it would be beautiful and healthy and fine. So even though it's a little bit below that target zone, bearing in fact that it's centipede, I'm still happy with that. Okay, so let's look at the macronutrients. Now, I'm not going to worry about these down here, zinc and boron and stuff like that. But I want to talk about these three in the middle that are off the charts. Okay, the S is sulfur. Okay, so why is my sulfur off the charts? Last year, my sulfur was low. Now, it was LSU Ag Center, university test, but I tested low in sulfur. So I added sulfur, so that's why that's off the charts. It went from low to high, so that explains that, so that's all good. Fe is iron. I added iron, so that explains why it's off the charts. The Na, and sometimes I have to remind myself what this is sodium. I'm not a chemist, okay? Na is sodium. I called Soil Savvy, and I told you that was one of the advantages of using this test. You can call, and I spoke with the initial sweet lady that answered the phone, and when I got into my question, she needed, I guess one of the soil scientists, I don't know what they call themselves, to call me back because I had some more deep-rooted questions and then she felt comfortable answering. So I'm literally within an hour. His name was Mark. He called me back. He analyzed my test. We determined, again, why my sulfur and iron was so high because I added it, okay? And we'll talk about that in a minute, why I added it. Okay, his only concern was this Na, which is sodium. I have a lot excessive sodium in my yard, and we've about figured out just what I figured out, which I've always known, and I'm having confirming process of it now, is that that's coming from my irrigation system. It's from the aquifer or whatever. In fact, I've called the Greater Ouachita Water Company this morning, and I'm waiting for them to call me back because I'm trying to find out what the sodium levels are. Probably going to see if the university will test my water, my irrigation water. That may have something to do with, I think that's the reason I have such high sodium. Not a whole lot I can do about that. Centipede grass does not like a lot of high sodium, but it is what it is. So even though my recommendation for organic, and I am organic predominantly, is 900. Now there's about 4 products that I know of that you could special order with that 900 breakdown. And I may end up adding that, but it's such a minimal application that you know what he said? He said I wouldn't do anything. So you're looking at virgin turf. Okay, this year I've added nothing. The year before, I added only 3 organic products, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. The year before, I added nothing. Okay, so I've gone 3 years, nothing synthetic as far as fertilizers put on my yard. Okay, minimal organic last year, and boom, he's telling me, unless you just want perfection, which I probably might, to bring that pH down to, like I said, I'd like to see it 5.5, so I may go out there and add elemental sulfur. And in order to just get the nitrogen up optimal, I may add a tiny bit of nitrogen. Now, centipede grass, at the most, you want 2 pounds per year of nitrogen. Now, we're talking synthetic. And most people break that up into 2 or 3 applications of a half a pound nitrogen per 1,000 feet. I generally only put applications out in the month of June, which means 1 fertilization, organic, that's it. So I'm going to put such little nitrogen if I do it that I'm going to have to think, is it even going to be worth me getting out there and walk and do it? I'll let you know if I do it. I'll do a video and show you what I've done. Okay, so and also, look, just to show you, I keep a yard journal. Got that from Alan Hain. My yard journal started it June of 2018. And I can show you what I did. Well, here's my soil. I'm going to show you my soil test first from last year. Now, this was from the LSU Ag Center. All right. They received it on the 25th. The results, I'm going to go just a couple. Okay, there we go. Just a couple things I'm going to talk to you about. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Bear in mind, when I sent last year's soil test in, that was from a yard that nothing had been added or done to it in 2 years, because the year before I had a shoulder injury and I just couldn't get out and do anything. So this was 2-year virgin centipede grass. All right, and what are they didn't do micro recommendations, but the macro, they didn't test nitrogen. Phosphate, 0, that's to be expected. You don't need any phosphorus on centipede. Potash, 0.83. So basically, maintain. That the dude said, do nothing. Well, I said, well, that's all good, but I wanted to look at 3 other things, really. Now, phosphorus, no big deal. It was high. I have a feeling that's from the years prior, a few years back when I did know what I was doing. I was throwing that synthetic nitrogen down, and I think it stays in your soil forever, especially when you don't need it in your soil like centipede. So I just don't add it. That's how to get rid of that problem. And now it's down on the medium range, average, where it's supposed to be. Okay, as you see, I'm low in magnesium and sulfur. So I said I need to address these 2 things. I'm going to show you how I did it. But the most important, other than magnesium and sulfur, which are micronutrients, the most important thing I needed to look at here was that pH, which is 7.02, very high. Okay, it doesn't matter what you throw down. If your pH level is too far off, and again, mine should be with Centipede 5.5 optimum, maybe 6. Some people actually say even if it's above that and below 8, if your grass is looking good, you don't have problems, you can probably get away with it, which maybe I could, but I still want to get it down. So I said, I'm going to address my pH and the magnesium and sulfur. And just to show you that last year I kept a yard journal. Didn't start it till June 6th. That's how you roll when you're a teacher. You're working 60. If you're someone like me, you're working 60 hours a week. You don't get to your yard till June, okay? June 21st, I put 1 application of Milorganite. June 30th, I applied this chelated iron I'm about to show you. And then July 3rd, Epsom salt. That's it. Okay, now I will say this, there was a couple little light spots. July 14th, I just sprinkled a couple of handfuls of Milo. But basically, I had 3 organic applications. This goes into 2019. Mowed, edge, mowed, planted, irrigated. I've done nothing. I've added nothing this year. All right, so I want to show you the only 3 things I added last year were these 3 products. Okay, to get my magnesium and my sulfur right, I added Epsom salt, which is organic. Okay, magnesium has something to do with chlorophyll, allows the chlorophyll process to take place. Just makes your grass, your turf healthier. And sulfur, I think it also helps with the uptake of nutrients itself. But the main thing was you need sulfur to lower your pH so that all those nutrients you add work in your turf. Okay, so I added 5 pounds granules you can get Epsom salt anywhere, per 1,000 square feet, 1 application. And guess what? That's why my sulfur is high, which is great, because I'd rather have high sulfur, low pH, lower pH. And that's what corrected my magnesium. Organic, good old Epsom salt. Easy, easy peasy. The other thing I added, now, they don't make this product anymore, green light iron and soil acidifier. Basically, it's chelated iron. So that's all you need to be really worried about, is looking for a chelated iron. Now this, you can tell how dirty this is. I had never used this. This liquid what is this, a gallon, whatever. This had been in my garage literally between 5 and 7 years. I think they quit making this product. I think maybe Scott's bought them out back in 2013. So I literally thought in my hot garage in Louisiana, in the South, in the summers where you get 100 plus degrees half the time, I didn't even know if this was going to work or not. But I have a feeling after getting my analysis back, it did. So the acidifier is sulfur. That's what it is. So that's, again, why my sulfur's off the charts, because sulfur happened to have come in this product. And I just used it because I just had it. I'm a big believer in if you got it, if it's what you need, try to use it. I hate to waste anything. And even though they didn't test for iron on that soil analysis, that particular one, I knew with a pH problem, my iron uptake is probably not very good. And plus my yard, even though Centipede is supposed to be that kind of granny apple lime green color, it's not supposed to be that dark green color. I still felt like it was a little, even for Centipede, it was a little light. So I added chelated iron, organic, 1 application. It was 2 tablespoons per gallon of water. Okay, I used a back sprayer, I believe, or a pump sprayer. 1 application, organic. Again, add a little color, help with chlorophyll, and lower my pH. The only other thing I added was Milorganite. Okay, this is organic fertilizer. If you don't know what Milorganite is, well, I'm just going to go ahead and be straight up. It's from Milwaukee. In fact, there's a shortage of it now, a nationwide shortage of it. It is human processed poop. Yeah, you heard that right. It stinks. My parlor stinks right now. But I said, I'm just going to bring this in. I'm not going outside. It's 95 degrees out there. I'm just going to bring this inside and make this easy to put everything around so I don't have to move around too much. All right. Now, this is classic Milorganite. Generally, the regular Milorganite, you see mine is, 620. So that's nitrogen 6, phosphorus 2, 0 potassium. I think the regular Milorganite is 640. So it's a higher phosphorus. Now, I went ahead and used this just because everybody's, Milorganite, that's a new rage. 4% iron, that's a good thing. Trying to darken it up a little bit, but I want to darken it up the right way. I don't want to put a bunch of synthetic stuff on it and, harm my soil. So this is an organic way to do it. Low nitrogen, you're not going to get much lower than 6. But, and I only did one application of this. And it tells you on the bag. I can't remember how many pounds. I think it's 15 pounds per 1,000 square feet. It tells you on the bag. But I probably won't use this again simply because of that middle number 2. And actually, it's going to be a 4 because most places that do have it, if you can find it, has a phosphorus level of 4. And with centipede grass, you don't want to add phosphorus because that's going to mess with your iron uptake. That's going to keep your turf from, you're going to probably have chlorotic situation with your iron, your grass, especially if it turns yellow. One of the reasons, even if you put iron on it, because that phosphorus prevents that iron from taking up in your turf or your plants or whatever you're putting on it. So this is all organic. All right, now I'm going to tell you something. A lot of people, I imagine most people, most stores, it's hard to find some of this organic stuff. Most people are still synthetic fertilizers. Although, if you put synthetics down, the advantage is you're going to get a faster result, okay? I can tell you, come spring, first sunshine, everybody can't wait to get out in the yard, throw the nitrogen down, all right? It never fails. Every year, everybody's yard around me, at least in my neighborhood, greens up way faster than mine. Well, there's different reasons, and I alluded to some of those in one of my last videos. A lot of it's weeds, okay? And I will tell you now, and I talk about this in other videos, I don't put any pre-emergent herbicide down. I've only done that once in my life, atrazine, and I've never done it again, okay? I hand pull my weeds, so I try to stay strictly organic. I don't even use any power tools. I use a manual edger, a manual lawnmower, everything. So I'm pretty much old. That's what I am. I'm old school in my yard. Anyway, everybody's yard looks green, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful come March. But here's the problem. Really, with centipede grass, which is predominantly what is in my neighborhood, we got a couple of the sites that are Bermuda, but with centipede grass, you really don't want to throw nitrogen, especially synthetic nitrogen, down early. Several reasons. One, you just don't need it. You don't need a lot of nitrogen if you even put it down at all. And if you put it down early and you have a cold snap, that has a possibility of killing your grass. Okay? Another reason my grass is always the ugliest, the longest, is because I have very thick, lush grass. Just because I take care of it. And the thicker the grass, the harder it is for the sun to get to it. It's going to take longer to green up. And plus, I don't have any weeds. So at first, and if you look at one of my last videos, you're like, dang, her yard looks like crap. Here she is promoting stuff. Well, next time I show you my yard, you'll see what it looks like. And keep in mind, this is with nothing added to it. Or with if I decide to go or a couple of sulfur, whatever, it's still going to be organic if I do it, I imagine. But anyway, don't make the mistake. I mean, synthetic, yes, it's going to work fast, it's going to give you fast greened up, but you keep using that over the years, you're going to have some problems. Trust me, I've been through some of it. Centipede decline. After a couple of years, maybe sooner than that, throwing out a bunch of synthetic nitrogen, you're going to have a good possibility, especially if you don't have good cultivating practices, of getting centipede decline. That's like a fungus. You get that, you probably need to start your yard over, okay? Another thing, synthetic nitrogen, non-organic, quick-acting nitrogen, instead of these slow-acting products that take longer but work better, might lead to a thatch. Look at one of my last year's videos on my yard renovation. You'll see what I'm talking about with thatch. Uh, Thatch is basically accumulation of excess roots, stems, things that have piled up on top of your turf, gotten too thick, and they're smothering out your grass, leaves, whatever. Okay, that's not allowing sun, water, nutrients, oxygen. That's suffocating your grass. Okay, adding inorganic nitrogen will lead to possible thatch buildup. Okay, that's another thing that can kill your grass. My grass last year, I wish I'd never done YouTube videos before. I wish I would have taken a video. It looked like a meteorite, a meteor, whatever, hit my yard. It was the worst. I went from always having had the best looking yard in my subdivision to having the worst looking yard in my subdivision. And we'll talk about that in a minute. Part of that was thatch. It's because I didn't know anything about dethatching. I'll show you the before and after. The before wasn't even in April, so it looked way better than my before. Now, if you look back on my summer centipede care, I do show you some pictures. It's not even, and even those pictures don't do it justice, because that's after I'd covered the bare spots up with leaves, just to kind of cover up the seed so the birds couldn't, so it wouldn't wash off and the birds wouldn't eat the seed. So even the pictures you see in the first 15 seconds of my centipede summer care video, that gives you an idea of what happened with having too much thatch. And also my other problem was winter kill. You add a lot in synthetic nitrogen, that's going to lend to good looking top growth. It stimulates the top growth, not the roots, not the rest of the plant. So even though it's going to give you a quick, fast growth spurt, I guess kind of like steroids people take, you're going to look good on the outside. It's going to work fast, but you're going to have problems in the long term. It's not going to be good for you long term. If centipede grass, one of the drawbacks is it's real sensitive to cold and heat and cold changes, okay? You have, like we had not this past year so much, but the year before, we had really cold temperatures for Louisiana. I had winter kill, okay? And the part of the reason I had winter kill, which means my grass did not green up, a lot of it did not green up. Wasn't fungus. I've never dealt with a fungus in my grass. I've never had one that I know of. Never even applied anything for a fungus. But I had winter kill. Parts of my grass, big, huge patches, did not green up. They died because I did not have a healthy root system. I had just had healthy top growth from the years prior from having put, I believe it's from past years of having too much nitrogen. It was also from not cutting my grass low enough. Centipede needs to be needs to be cut at 1.5 to 2.5. I was bad about keeping mine at 3. Sometimes it might have been a little higher than 3. That led to my thatch, which also led to winter kill. So you got to have good cultivating practices. I talk about that on my summer centipede care video as well. Irrigation, again, 1 inch per week. I do mine every 3 days. When it's cumulative, I take into account rainfall. When it goes into 100 plus degrees like it does here in the south, maybe 1.5 to 2 inches per week. Again, I break mine up every 3 days. You want to do that in the mornings. Okay. Synthetic, another problem is you put too much on it, you're going to burn your grass, you kill your grass. It's easy to kill your grass. Also, it's hard to get it even. I walk around my neighborhood with my friend a lot, and we just look at these yards, and they're like zebra stripes. You got stripes of dark green, lime green, dark green, lime green. It's hard to get it evenly distributed. So even though synthetic, you get there faster, you get there quicker. Trust me, with organic, you're treating your soil, you're conditioning your soil. Unlike synthetics, you're not killing the microorganisms. I'm talking about earthworms. The earthworms, the bacteria, the fungus that's naturally in your soil. It's like having billions of Oompa Loompas under your soil. Is that what they're called in the chocolate factory or whatever? Little workers that do your work for you. If you don't kill them, and like if you see a bunch of earthworms in your yard, that's wonderful. You've got an organic, thriving you have life under your soil or in your soil. They're naturally aerating to give you oxygen. They're naturally eating up the thatch to give you so that sun, oxygen, nutrients, water can get down deep enough to work. They're doing all the work for you. You're throwing these synthetics on it. You're killing the organic life that is like the heartbeat of your soil. So organics don't do that. In fact, that they help, okay? So those are just the all the the advantages of using organics. If I don't do anything till June, and I generally if I even put anything down, whether it's organic or not, it's going to be in June. Come July, August, whatever, I put nothing else down. All these people even if I were to put something down, I'm not going to do it till June. You need to, at the earliest, for centipede grass, you need to wait at least 2 weeks after green up. Okay? I wait at least 4 weeks after green up before I put anything down. You want your grass actively growing. And remember, you throw that nitrogen down, it's not only fertilizing your grass blades, it's fertilizing your weeds. Okay? Oops, low battery. So I'm about to wrap this up. But another reason to go organic. So again, this is just to show you that organic cultivating practices, the proof is in the pudding. That's the analysis. And what it does works. So look, just to show you, you don't have to add hardly anything if you have good cultivating practices. Mow right, water right, make sure you got the right kind of turf grass. If again, take into account shade, things like that, you can have good soil. I'll be trying to come at you. I'm going to try to take time to make some more videos. I'll get out and show you what I'm going to do next in my yard, hopefully within the next week. I'll come at you for another video and show you what my organic yard's looking at. So if you haven't liked and subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. I think it's red, and hit the notification button, the little bell, and you'll get to see when I do what I do next and how it turns out. Thanks for viewing, and good luck in your yard. Have fun. It's that time again. I'm ready for it.